Okay, I've recorded this voiceover 14 times, but either way, this dish pairs well with wine, silence, and plotting your escape. Let's get started. Today we're making chicken parmesan. Check out my apron, it's beautiful. And we are going to start with wrinkly, sad old peppers. And there's going to be a lot of peppers because it's going to be a pepper marinara sauce. So after we chop those to death, we're going to throw those in our favorite black pan with some onions and sweat them down. I didn't season these because there's a lot of seasoning in every layer of this dish. After cleaning this chicken and butterflying it, I decided we were just going to do thinly sliced cutlets. That was soaked in salt water with a little bit of lemon juice and white vinegar, but you guys have seen me clean meat a million times. You'll be fine and figure it out. YouTube is also free. In this next clip, you're going to see me take some marinated mozzarella balls in olive oil and herbs, and I'm going to just pour some of that brine over top of the chicken with some chicken Mrs. Dash, rotisserie chicken seasoning, basil leaves, some no salt seasoning, and in the pan with the peppers, we're going to add in some fire roasted tomatoes with garlic, tomato paste, and regular diced tomatoes. And we're going to stir that in and let the flavors marry as usual. And we're going to add a scoop of roasted red pepper paste because it's not a pasta sauce at my house without one. Of course, some sun-dried tomatoes with the oil, little chicken bouillon seasoning because there's plenty of salt, rotisserie chicken seasoning, Italian seasoning. And we're going to stir all of that up and add a majority of a package of spaghetti sauce mix. And things are going to start to thicken here. And once they get really thick, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of Merlot. I'm just kidding. That was like 2 cups. And we're going to stir that in and let it simmer down and put the lid on that and set it aside for a second after we add a giant jar of meat flavored pasta sauce. If you're going to take that right out of the jar, I just feel like that should be a crime. You should definitely season and add a couple things to those types of sauces. But it was sweet enough to where I didn't have to add brown sugar or anything like that. And it didn't have like a zingy sour flavor. Next, we are going to set up our breading station and we're going to start with some Italian breadcrumbs to do our chicken cutlets. And then I added some plain panko breadcrumbs because I wanted it to be extra crispy since we were going to cook it in the oven with the sauce as well. And I added a bunch of grated Romano, the dried shaker kind. And we're going to mix all that up, but we're also going to add seasonings. So I just added Italian seasoning. And I'm also going to season the eggs, and I have a bag of seasoned flour as well, which you'll see that next. We added some crushed red pepper, some paprika for a little smokiness and color. Nobody likes a light-skinned piece of chicken, I promise. If they tell you they do, they're lying. In our whisked eggs, I just added a bunch of basil, and there's my seasoned flour. There's white pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. I dipped the cutlets in the flour first just to get the eggs to stick. And if you ever do this without the flour step, you'll see how the eggs just kind of slide off of the chicken. It's weird. And then I took that and I put it into our breadcrumb mix. You're going to put some on top, but you're going to press it deep down in there. Because you don't want it to come off in your oil. That's what makes your oil burn a little bit faster too, is like flour and breadcrumbs and stuff like that. I set all of this on a wire rack just to kind of let everything mold together. And on medium-high heat, we're going to shallow fry with any type of neutral oil, anything with a high smoke point. Don't look at that first piece. I promise it's not burnt. It's just extra loved. But I did these probably about 3 minutes each side. And they came out super juicy. There was a clip of me squeezing it. And I think I used 4 big pieces of chicken, and I ended up with 8 cutlets. I put a little sauce at the top of the bottom of the pan. At the top of the chicken and the bottom of the pan. I'm going to shred pepper jack cheese. And then I added 3 of those marinated mozzarella balls on top, and then we're going to top it with a shit ton of fresh Parmesan and put it in the broiler for 112 years. Sorry for the sniffling. There's a weird person in the background acting like I'm not recording this video. And in the next clip, I have my spaghetti. I just added butter, some basil, and some shaved Parmesan. And in the plating sequence, we're going to top it with some of that pepper marinara. And there's a clip of the pasta sauce. And then we put our chicken cutlet on there. I just used some garlic bread and added some Woodfire garlic seasoning from Kinder's. I fried a couple pieces of basil as my garnish, but they actually were delicious too. And I also cooked a serrano pepper because, you know, we need a fresh element in the dish. But this came out amazing. This giant plate was devoured within 10 minutes. Everybody's full and laying on the floor around me. So, you know, I did good. That was my content plate. Here's the chef's plate because I don't love myself. But here's some selfies because I do love myself. But your girl is on YouTube now. That is at Miss Rita Love, Rita with 2 T's. Follow me if you want to keep up with my recipes. I'm also on Instagram, which is also Miss Rita Love, and Facebook and TikTok, all those things. But anyway, thank you for watching. Please enjoy your food and have the day that you deserve. Thanks. Bye.